Hello, everyone. It is Thursday. Yes, Thursday, I'm telling you. Thursday. You have made it to Thursday. You're on the second half. You've crawled over that hump. You got past hump day. You crawled right over it. You marched right beyond it. Who am I kidding? Who's doing a crawl? You marched right beyond it. How are you doing tonight? What is happening in your world? Hey, Marianne live. Love the Little Missy post earlier. I want to be Little Missy. I get Zach too. Two Evans. I want Little Missy. How about Sven? I keep on getting Sven wants to Instagram me or something. I barely Instagram. Sven wants to Instagram me. I don't know why, but, it is great to have you all here. Happy Thursday. What are you grateful for tonight? I'm grateful for all of you and Little Missy. Little Missy. I got Little Missy's picture right here. Little Missy's right here with me. Little Missy's right there. I got Little Missy right on the shelf with me. I keep her. Maybe we can make Little Missy bobblehead dolls and sell them. Little Missy bobblehead dolls, I don't know. I'm trying to think outside the box. Other revenue sources here. Culver's could sell them as she's their biggest fan or something. I don't know. I don't even really, you got to understand, Zach, I barely Instagram, I have an account on Instagram, it's like people tweet at me and do stuff, and it's like I have enough problems with Facebook and YouTube here. That I have enough problems with. But Little Missy's awesome though. Little Missy's awesome. And I love that she's got all the dogs in line too. She's got a grand pad. I don't know what a grand. I'm not sure what that is, Mary. I have to catch up with you. Your dog is getting bigger than you are too, Zach. That dog is getting big. Every time I see him, he's bigger. Oh, she's got it. Oh, I got it. A grandpad, an iPad. I got it now. I'm a little slow on the uptake. I'm not hip like Little Missy. She's got a grandpad. And play bingo. I love it. She's the best. She's the best. I love how the dogs hang around her when she's around. Kippy and Sven. I had a friend growing up named Sven. His father was the preacher. He was. But it is great to have you all here. We're broadcasting tonight both on Facebook and YouTube. So if you have any problems with the Facebook, Cassandra dropped the link for YouTube right there in the show comments. You can click right on over to YouTube. I'm grateful to have you all here tonight. Grateful to hear about Little Missy. I think she's just the best. She's the best. And we're in More Money May, people. We're in More Money May. So let's get this party started with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is where we start. Tonight we're on page 138. If you're following along in the book. Good morning. Use your brains. Use your heart. Use your courage. And click those heels if you need to. Peace out. Oh, that's great. This Sven's father is the opposite of a preacher. That's great. Well, the Jewish boy going over to the preacher's house, that was a whole nother story, Uh, I'm not sure who got fixed in that arrangement, whether I fixed them or they fixed me. I don't know. We're all good. Hey, Kitty, how are you? How are you tonight? It is good to have you here tonight on this Thursday and More Money May. We're making lots of progress. Here we are at the 20th. We're 2/3 of the way through. We were busy today. I mean, I love, when I get my end of day updates from the stores where they we send, and I've talked about it before, they send a message to all the key holders of what happened in the store today. This is what we worked on. This is the projects we did. And inevitably, on a day when they don't think they're busy, their transaction counts through the roof, their dollars are through the roof. I'm like, where did you guys were busy today. You guys were busy. You have a right to say you were busy today. I'm glad that you had it so under control that you didn't feel you were busy today. But it is a nice evening. You don't need to be sitting by the fire tonight, Kitty. Although I'm guessing there's not a cat too far from you tonight. You don't need to be by the fire. It is a nice night out. I agree with that. One of these times we might have to do an outside broadcast just for something different. I'll have to see if my peanut gallery at some point can set up an outside set. Hey, Jennifer, it was great catching up with you and Brad today. Great catching up with y'all. Okay, I know it's Thursday night, but I have a trivia question for you. Cat at your feet. All right. Sitting on the back porch. That's lovely, Kitty. That is lovely. Yeah, I might, at some point, I might need an outside set. We have a place. Hey, Molly and Eric, great to have you here. Great to have you here. I was talking about the other day when you weren't here, I was talking about the breakfast place in Steamboat. I may have been last night. They said I had to come to New Mexico for green chili. I said, I got green chili in Steamboat. I think I got green chili grits or something in Steamboat for breakfast with my man Mosa. Okay, so a history trivia question for you. What happened on this day in 1993? On this day in 1993. Let's see if you guys can figure that out. That is your trivia. That is your trivia question for the night, and it's a fun one. It's a fun one. It is a fun one. Okay, so we got to talk. Man Mo says yes, Molly, but I also had green chili something there for breakfast. The wall came down. No, Jennifer got it. Jennifer got it. It was the final episode of Cheers aired on this day in 1993, and they broadcast it live in Boston, and I was there. Cassandra was there. We were there together. Yes, so on this day, and actually, I was supposed to, one of my meetings today would have actually been there. One of my meetings, if it had been in person today, would have actually been there in the upper rooms up there where they had the massive party and season ending. All the people were there. They had massive, the Bull and Finch pub that is the show is modeled after. Sits right across Boston Common, just down from the State House. And they had massive, huge screens set up on the Common to watch it. Huge crowds. I mean, looking back, since I'm not a big crowd person, it was really kind of surreal. They had all the streets blocked off and everybody was watching it. And It was just a huge party. And why that's so important, not just because it's a piece of television lore, not because the TV show is living on, but what makes that so special, what makes that show so special, is the same thing that that makes this special. Okay, the same thing that makes this special. It's the community. It's you went to a place where everybody knew your name. Literally, you went to a place where everyone knew your name. Sometimes you gotta get there where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You gotta go where people know. The people are all the same. You gotta go where everybody knows your name. And that's the community aspect that people loved of that bar. What makes that bar different from all other bars? It's like a Jewish quote. It's what makes this night different than all things? What makes this bar different than all other bars? What makes this show different? What makes the reason you show up here every night? It's community. It's the same reason your customers show up to your store. It's the community. It is the community that you create. That's why people go to your store, because you know who they are. They feel safe there. You are getting a whole new group of people that are starting to come out now as the COVID hibernation is lifting. And people are coming out now that they're vaccinated, that they don't have to do weird things. They don't have to be they don't have to be masked up or anything. I went out briefly today. So yesterday, the places I went, was like 80% masked. Today's the second day in Connecticut of being allowed to be maskless. And today it was like the other way around. Today it was like 20. I said it in a week, it'll be completely different. Today was completely different. Like 20% of the people were masked today. And and that's what you're going to see. You're going to start seeing more and more people that you have not seen in a while. And they're coming out and they're coming to see you for the same reason people go to Cheers. They go there for the community. People still go there. I mean, why? Cheers hasn't been on the air since 1993, but people still travel to Boston to go to that bar, to sit at that seat, to buy an overpriced pint of beer, okay, and some tchotchkes, a T-shirt, a beer glass. But they do that. They do that for the community. Yes, Kitty, they are thrilled to be out. All the people I saw today, I wasn't in any of my stores today, but I was close to home. I was at my desk all day. It was a Zoom day, pretty much. And people were, the little bit out in Connecticut, because Massachusetts still masks till a week from Saturday. We're thrilled to be out. We're thrilled to be out. And we're thrilled to go to their favorite places for community. You could tell they hadn't been in these places in a while. That they didn't know what to do or what thing to be. And so that was really great. The sense of community. The sense of community. And that was so important. And that's what your store brings, is that sense of community. You are the Cheers of your neighborhood. And it's not just because Molly serves drinks there. I mean, no, Molly doesn't serve drinks there, but she'll tell you where to get a good drink. It is that community. And that is so important. That's why this day in history, the day that Cheers started a new life, really, because in syndication, it has gotten a whole new set of viewers, a whole new set of people that appreciate Boston, and a whole new set of people that appreciate the relationships of their community and what people do for their community. So I can't stress that enough, that's sometimes I serve drinks. All right, Molly. Well, I remember you hired our bartender. I mean, he worked for you too. I mean, our wherever we ate dinner, that the bartender there worked for you too. I mean, it's such a great community where you are, Molly. A drinking town with a skiing problem, um, and a fashion problem because they need more fashion. They need more fashion, and they know where to get it there in Steamboat. So I've had a lot of my meetings were government related today, and I got to share some of what's going on out there. They're government / business related. So I wanna step through a little bit of that for you tonight because there's a lot of good information, and some of this was Massachusetts specific. The exact stats I may quote, but a lot of this is playing out similarly in states across the country, especially in states that had any level of restrictions. So, workers' comp. Now, a lot of people are in the process of workers' comp audits, their annual payroll audits to find out what their actual payroll is. Rates are expected to actually drop about 10% because of the drop in payrolls. So, workers' comp rates are expected to drop about 10% with the drop in payroll. But more than the drop in payrolls, okay, what 2020 brought, which is really, it makes sense when you think about it, but you don't think about it, okay? You know, you buy insurance to insure you, to protect you, but you don't think about all the things that go into the rates. And one of the key contributors to the rates is losses, okay? What do you have workers' comp insurance for? If somebody gets injured on the job, you carry, that workers' comp. Well, with everybody working from home, with all the businesses closed, claims were down over 30% in the last year. So claims for workers' comp insurance were down over 30% in the last year. And once the final analysis is done on premiums, that's expected to lead to even greater reductions in rates for 2022 forward because of the lack of losses. So that isn't all profits going to the big guys. This will trickle down to you and the rates you pay, and that ultimately is a good thing. And it may even end out in some rebates in 2021, but it should certainly affect 2022 rates, which is really encouraging, and state regulators and such are also looking at that. So that is really encouraging, and that's something that's being seen in most parts of the country. Again, some of the numbers I'm quoting are Massachusetts actual numbers, okay? But these effects are expected to be seen across the country. Okay, you can expect similar things in most parts of the country that had any level of remote work, any level of shutdown. So that's a good thing. Sales tax for states that have sales tax. Early on, and even you got to keep in mind, many states are on a budget year that goes July through June, or August through July, things like that. Things were still pretty bad last year in the summer and pretty bleak. And most states were expected to post huge drops in the sales tax revenue. And even, draining their rainy day funds and having huge drops in revenue. And that is not materializing, okay? What is materializing is, hang on a second, I gotta put the glasses back on. Is actually a surplus in sales tax revenue. A surplus. Many states are expecting to actually finish their fiscal years with a surplus in sales tax revenue, okay? Because of all the stimulus that's been put into the economy, because of all the spending that's going on, because they're taxing the big guys, okay? They're taxing sales tax on the Amazons of the world and such. States are collecting taxes on those sales and such now. They are now where they expected to be hundreds of millions, if not billions in the hole on sales tax revenue, states are looking at massive sales tax surpluses without touching rainy day money. So they're going to have sizable surpluses. Massachusetts surplus is going to be in the billions range. Okay, I mean probably somewhere around $2 billion, and that is huge. And other states are expecting actually very similar results because of the comeback. The comeback's always bigger than the setback. The comeback is always bigger than the setback. Have I not told you that? The comeback is bigger than the setback. So that is a really cool thing. No, it is not stopping them from raising taxes. I'm going to come to that, Kitty. It is not stopping. That is a very good point. It is not stopping states from wanting to raise taxes, or worse yet. No, I'm going to come to it. Worse yet, they're spending like drunken sailors on new programs or new things. But we'll come to that. Unemployment insurance fraud. And this is the documented fraud so far. In other states, especially northern states, will yield to these numbers and higher. In Massachusetts, the documented unemployment fraud so far is over $300 million. Over $300 million has been documented in payout fraud. Okay. You know, keeping in mind, Massachusetts has somewhere of like a $4.5 billion shortfall in unemployment benefits in what they have, which they've been trying to bail businesses for. Like most states. Most states are figuring out a way to do something. The federal government for unemployment insurance is allowing states to use American Rescue Plan money from the rescue plan, to plug holes in unemployment insurance. That was an allowable expenditure. It was recently ruled by Treasury that they could do that. So, but states aren't there yet. And you're having a lot of games with it. For example, in Massachusetts, they originally billed businesses for it. Then they heard the screaming, ah! And they said, oh, we'll fix it. And what they're doing is they're borrowing it over 20 years. What they're doing today, while they try to figure out what to do with their extra money from the government, is they're borrowing today over 20 years and billing businesses for that, is what they're doing in Massachusetts. So you'll only see a tiny increase instead of a massive increase. Hey, Kelly's here from the yoga. Yoga-ing. Other states are doing different things. Some of them are using rescue plan money from the feds to do it. Others are doing games like they're doing in Massachusetts. We're still putting pressure on states to do the right thing and not build businesses for this, for something that was not their fault. Okay? You told us to close. We closed. You told us to that we wouldn't be billed for this. We did that. Can I have a hamburger today and I'll pay you Tuesday? Why not just say I'll have it today and I'll pay you in 20 years, Kitty? It is that kind of government kicking the can down the road. And I've had a lot of meetings with it today about, that this isn't fair. This wasn't, we did all the right things. We shouldn't bear the burden of it. But obviously, ultimately, America has to pay this money back wherever the money comes from. You have to remember that you're a town taxpayer, a state taxpayer, and a federal government taxpayer. And your ultimate goal is to be part of the 1%. Okay? You want to be part of the top 1%. And you want to have to pay those taxes. But, so somewhere this money's got to be paid back. I don't think it should fall on small business. but the advocacy continues. They do this stuff to give them time to figure out how to spend the other money without people complaining about it. If everybody's unemployment insurance bill goes down, then the screaming stops. And I get it; it's a Band-Aid, okay? But then you take this extra $5 billion you got from the federal government, and you spend it on new programs, or you do it on things, and that's not right for small businesses either. That's not right for business. That's not good. One of the big things that's not getting a lot of press that I need you to really pay attention to locally. That is locally. I can watch some state stuff for you. I can watch some federal stuff. I watch a lot of federal stuff for you. But I can't watch what's happening in Rochester, Illinois, or in Albuquerque, New Mexico, or in Algonquin, Illinois, or Gurnee, Illinois. I got a lot of Illinois towns, or Leominster, Massachusetts. It's hard enough to watch what's happening in Leominster, Massachusetts, my own town. But as part of the American Rescue Plan, cities and towns are getting boatloads of dollars. Boatloads of dollars. They're just starting to get this money. Okay, they're just starting to get this money. One of the things they have to do with this money, okay, is spend it on small business in some way or form. That can and typically they're looking for one-time things to do it for. Some cities and towns are talking about rent relief, okay, for small businesses. They're talking about giving all the small businesses money for rent relief, okay, to help with that. But many more cities and towns are starting to look for projects that are one-off projects, okay, and what I mean by that is not a recurring expense, okay, a business that needs a remodel, a business that needs a new website, a business that needs the front of they're in a downtown section and they need the front of the building they own renovated. Something that is a one-time expense to improve and lift that business up. Not something that dives you into a recurring expense. A restaurant that needs a new oven. Things like that is what they're looking for. One-time expense, because this is one-time money. Okay, something that won't be creating a recurring expense for you or for the government. So that's what they're looking for to do with this money. But when they decide to do it or how they decide to do it is going to be a very, very local issue. So you have to keep your ears open to what's happening in local government. A new highway sign, sure. Yay, Lindsay got a CARES Act grant for $3,500. So these grants from these cities and towns, you have to keep an eye out for. There's a whole new batch of them about to take off, basically between now and like Labor Day, okay, depending on where you are in the country. And they have to spend that money. They have to spend it on their small business community. That's you. And I won't know each and every one of these in every little city and town. I pick up on some of them. I pick up on some of them that are out there. But I certainly don't know about Lindsay, it depends on when they issued it. They got money early on to help small business, or some towns did give grant money from early on CARES Act money. But this is late. The CARES Act grants, this is actually the American Rescue Plan that is giving money to cities and towns, which is the most recent bill that President Biden signed. That is where that money, but the cities and towns really haven't got it yet. They're just on the very early stages of starting to get it. Treasury is just starting to send the checks, okay, to cities and towns. And this is one-time money. This is one-time money, and this is really the end of it. This is the end of the money. But you have to keep your ears locally. You have to keep your ears out there because they're going to be looking to spend it. And they're looking for good projects and good investments. And you know what? You're a good investment. Okay, but you got to be listening. You got to be listening. You got to be listening. And so that is a big lesson there. So I can't stress that enough. That's a way of looking at it and a way of doing it. And something to keep an eye on. There's also going to be, I've got a meeting next week to get more details, but there's also going to be a whole bunch of utility incentive. The utility companies, I mentioned previously, got money to help people pay people's bills, but they're also getting a bunch of one-time money to go out and do electrical upgrades, electrical and heating and different things for your equipment, like upgrades to LED lighting and different things, and get it 100% paid for and things, or darn close to it. So I'll have some more information on that next week. I've got a meeting about that. But there's a lot of good still out there, but it's going to happen really fast, and there's going to be a lot of local things. So I need you to keep your eyes and ears peeled for that, because it will be happening local, and some of this will happen when you're trying to think about the beach or you're too busy and everything else. So set up alerts for your town and business grant, your city and business grant, your state and grants, so that you get an alert. Set up a Google alert for that, because there's just so much happening, and it's happening so fast once your city or town gets the money. And not everybody reads the newspaper or catches all the news. And so this is important stuff, because this will help you grow back bigger. Grow back better, bigger. You'll grow back better. And that's what this is all about. We're growing our way out of this. We're coming. Things are moving along rapidly. Things are moving along really, really well. And I'm excited about that. I'm part of a discussion tomorrow on small business and the rapidly evolving mask issue. So I'll keep you all updated on that. What else I keep you all updated on? Everything I talk about goes over to narts.org/resale strong by noon the next day. Noon, I tell you, all the files, all the references I make, and a direct link to the video and the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, you can ring the bell so you know when a new video drops. You can also share narts.org/resale strong with all your friends in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. We're going to help everybody make it to the other side. Yes, we are. But only because you shared it all with them. That's what we're doing, people. I am here every night at more 8 than ish, live in the Narts private Facebook group. Live is where you find me. But if you have a question in between, you can email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Tonight, if you're following along, we're on page 138. If you were not here at the top of the program, our good morning is, good morning. Use your brains. Use your heart. Use your courage. And click those heels if you need to. Peace out. Our good night tonight is good night. Clicking my heel 3 times, people. That's what I'm doing. I'm clicking on you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah. A COVID's over party. Someday we'll be able to party like that. I don't know when we're going to be able to party in person, but when we do, I'm going to be there with you. Until then, until tomorrow night at more 8 than ish, know that you and you, but most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. It's time for dessert.